A lot of what I feel the Philippines, and I'm not even just saying in show business, pansinin nyo, one of the first things a person might say, especially in business or in my industry as well, is if you get introduced to them, they'll say, hey, my name is this. I worked with you on this project. I worked with Gerald Anderson on this project. And it's just like, I didn't ask for your resume. I asked for your name.
Yeah.
But
what's your take about failure and how
Ooh.
you prepare yourself sa failure?
Can I go first?
Yeah. Go.
Fail forward. That's something
Interesting.
we say. We've heard this a lot.
Yeah.
All of us in the team, we've messed up so many times.
Because
But-
failure is always looked down upon, and people say like, yeah, if you fail, you are a failure, and I say that you hear a lot of entrepreneurs, people who've started amazing businesses, and always every time I've listened to them, their advice is it's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not do this the right way.
This is so easy to talk about, but it's
It's
hard to
tough.
do when
I don't want to fail.
I-
No one likes.
I hate failure.
no one likes it. It's actually really hard when
Yeah.
you're in a state of failure. But even with what you said, it's so easy to identify yourself with your failure.
Yeah.
It's easy to say I'm a failure more than I failed. And I think that's something that even I really had to learn is when I fail, it's not because I'm a bad person or I didn't or I'm incapable or I'm disqualified. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to mistakes is to never identify yourself with it.
Yes, true.
Because it's actually
Hello
going to be
everyone, welcome to another episode of our podcast. And today we're very excited to welcome our very special guests.
With us today is my OG co-host.
Wow.
My other
Wow.
podcast, my daughter Fiona.
Hi everyone.
And her friend si Athaiah and
Hello.
Edward.
Hi, guys.
Welcome.
Hi there.
Welcome.
to
Thank you,
Innovate.
guys.
Wow.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, so in our previous episodes, we are inviting business owners, freelancers to share their stories. So today, you're representing the Gen Z. So we wanted to hear your stories, your goals in life, or anything that you'd like to share with our audiences.
Yeah.
Go siguro we can start with your background.
Cool. Great.
What's your backstory or backstory of each of one of you? What do you do now? And then later on we can discuss, our goals and ambitions.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
good.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Passing the ball to Athaiah. Go first.
Back to you.
Fantastic. All right, I'll go first. Well, obviously I'm Athaiah. Quick backstory of who I am, what I'm doing. I'm Sri Lankan, living
go.
here in the Philippines. I've been here for now 6 years. I lived here also back in 2007, so quite some time, but moved around the country and around Southeast Asia. Right now, I'm a college student. I'm on my third year, so I've just
In where?
I'm in
Where?
LaSalle.
Let's go.
Yes.
Represent.
Green Archers.
Animo, Green Archers.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, same.
Animal represent.
Yeah, so just on my third year, I've just got a few more terms left till I'm done. And yeah, just doing life in the Philippines. I'm enjoying it. I love it. And I get to meet these great people here who I got to know them in church,
Great.
which is pretty cool.
Great people.
And
Doesn't
yeah,
always
it's been
say
pretty
that,
good.
but-
That's kind of my resume for
Nice.
Awesome.
Life.
Share that.
I'm Edward. I'm half Filipino. I am half British. I sound American, and I grew up in Germany. So I am the definition of a third culture kid. I'm a chameleon. I can kind of fit in anywhere, I think. But I moved here in 2016, but I've been coming here since I was 6 months old to the Philippines. So
you're coming back and forth.
yes. Ano lang, tuwing December dito kami nagbabakasyon.
Tagalog.
Yeah. Wala lang, kailangan
Showing
ipasok
it
ko
off.
lang yun para alam nila na
From
hindi
time
lang
to
ako
time.
foreigner. I'll just drop it out there that I'm
Yeah.
not just a white guy. I bleed the colors of our flag.
Hearing you speak Tagalog or Filipino, it's like, it's cute.
I hope so. Wow.
It's cute.
It's cute.
Good
Wow.
job, man. Good
It's not that I
job.
spent
We're so
8 years
proud of
learning
you.
it just for you. No.
Okay, sorry.
No, absolutely. No, so I grew up in Germany, but I came here. I joined a reality show called BBB, which was a crazy experience kasi hindi ko yun pangarap. It was not my dream to become an artist here in the Philippines. My dream was to become a book writer or a
I
psychologist.
didn't even know that.
Yeah,
You wanted to be an
I wanted
author?
to be an author, so that's why storytelling is huge.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
so Fiona, so the three of us know each other very well, because I've known these guys for years. These two for years specifically. Two very close friends of mine. We all serve on the same team in our church, in our youth team. So I see them multiple times a week. I see them in the highs. I see them in the lows. Fiona recently is actually working with me on a project which is to be named very soon. But I'm a very like ideas person. I'd say I'm creative and visionary in that sense. I need someone to help tell me which ideas suck. So that's why Fiona's there, and Athaiah is actually a lot in that process as well. So that's
Moral
how we
support.
know each other. But yeah, so that's how we met. Theo, how about your story?
Hi
Take it away,
guys.
Fiona.
So I'm Fiona, and if you didn't already know, I'm the daughter of your podcast host
Let's
here.
go.
Comment down below if you look alike.
We should be seated together.
I know.
Defining feature.
Defining feature. But anyway, I am. What do I say actually? I'm 20 and I'm working now at a design studio. So that's what I've been doing now. Before that, I was studying in Ateneo. I was studying communications management. But actually, this is like what Ed mentioned. That's what I've been doing now these past few months is just working alongside them. And I'm actually really excited about it because this is something where I would say Ed has given me a lot of like freedom to be creative.
Yeah.
So that's why it's
That's why
not.
you can pirate her.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no. No, no, no.
Yeah, so it's not just like I'm helping him out. It's actually
Yeah.
just also a space for me to be creative, and that's
Yes.
why I've been loving really working with him also these past few months, and it's exciting. So
A lot of dreams slowly becoming a reality. And the reason we're being so, if there's anything I've learned, if there's anything that's a seed in like a dream that's a seed form, of course it's a seed that hasn't grown into a strong tree yet. So that's why you have to be protective with it.
Yeah.
You don't just want to like throw it out to the world and be like,
Yeah.
ha, this is gonna happen, and then someone stamps on the seed, right? So we're being just taking it step by step. It's just a lot of personal dreams finally culminating into a reality. So this has been many years in the making.
Yeah, and what's cool is this podcast is the first time for you guys to kind of announce it, right?
Yeah, we haven't.
Pretty special.
I've been
I know.
hinting at it
Yeah.
for many on different platforms. Shout out I want ASAP and ASAP,
Mhm.
but this is something now like it's hugely personal, and even the whole concept of what we're working on, it's a very personal thing. It's a very
Super.
real thing. It's something that I feel, or we feel as well, that the Philippines might need, especially in this time. So we'll see. Hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have it already out for everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have an interesting profiles here.
Right. We
One
have a
is,
good mix actually.
yeah, graduating student.
Yeah.
And then we have a working lady in a corporate job,
Young professional.
a young professional. And then we have like a personal brand celebrity.
Mhm.
Let's dive deeper siguro
Sure.
in your case, no. How did that dream start?
Oh,
how did
wow.
it evolve? And I'm just curious. What's your motivation in trying to
Absolutely.
reach that goal or dream?
I think this goes for any business. A lot of businesses are born out of the question, what do we lack? What is lacking? So if you look at fast food, you look at, it's taking so long. So let's find a way to make it quicker,
Yeah.
right? So I think oh my gosh, it's hard to kind of talk about it without revealing
know.
it.
You need to
Without
just give the
revealing
name.
it.
No, I'm not revealing the name at all. But
It's okay.
I think it was just born. So what we're working on now. So I guess maybe I could just before I answer that question, the way that Fiona is working with me, and of course the dream is to get more people in the future. She's part of the team. As of now, it's more of like a social media manager.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot of foundation building for the different projects we want to build in the future. So it's a long-term project, not just 1 year down the line, but 5-10 years down the line. That's how I see it. A lot of what I feel the Philippines, and I'm not even just saying in show business, but I think in any area, whether it be business or anything, is a lot of authenticity, a lot of realness, a lot of organicness. Pansinin nyo, one of the first things a person might say, especially in business or in my industry as well, is if you get introduced to them, they'll say, "Hey, my name is this. I worked with you on this project. I work with Gerald Anderson on this project." And it's just like, I didn't ask for your resume. I asked for your name. But people feel this need to throw out their brand and throw out their status, and it's just like, I don't want to know your status. Actually, if you tell me why you're so good, I probably will think a little bit, hindi naman less of you, but it's just like I will not trust you as much. So I think just we need a lot of that authenticity, and so a lot of my heart is to tell stories and to tell the stories of the people around us and the people in the Philippines, stories that without a certain platform like this wouldn't be able to tell or have be told. So my heart is really that, and a lot of times in our industry, it's not always easy to find the real authentic story, not necessarily the truth. We have enough journalists, we have enough reporters. What I want to hear is, or what I want to have is a space that's safe and secure enough, trustworthy and honest enough that someone could sit down with me and be like, "Hey, this is what happened, this is what I experienced, this is what I learned. I just want to share this because I know there's someone out there just like me who never got someone telling them it's okay to feel this way, think this way, go through this." So hopefully we can get that done. So that's it.
You're living the dream of being a writer or
yeah, that's true. It's a storyteller.
Right?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. That's my dream come true as well. Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Fiona? Any thoughts?
What's the question? No, because it was for him, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Yeah, so the question actually is like, this is like an interview, employee interview. So where do you see yourself,
Wow.
10 years down the road? Because right now you're working.
Can I answer that for you?
My employer will answer for me.
For me or for her?
For her. For her.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Really curious because we don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Something that your dad wants to ask you.
I know. In general, right? Like in life, I think for me, whenever I get asked that question or I think about that, I can't, this naman, I can't fully say everything because I don't wanna plan everything ABC, specifically everything in 5 to 10 years, just because everything can change, anything can change. But definitely, for me, outside of what I want to do for career-wise or let's say how like earning money-wise, for me, I see myself 5 to 10 years down the line still in ministry, still being able to serve,
Absolutely.
still being able to help out the kingdom, and I feel like that's something that will never change in my heart.
Yeah.
But for me, like with dreams, personal dreams that I've had, I've always wanted to be in the creative space. I think that's something that never really I always felt when I was young. Whether that's in music, whether that's in business, I've always felt like I know I'm meant to be involved in a creative space, whatever that looks like. So I feel like 5 to 10 years down the line, whether it's with Ed, whether it's my own business, my own projects, I feel like as long as I'm still fueling that creativity that I have or even others, I think I'm open to anything that involves really me being able to be creative in the different areas that I want to be. So yeah.
Good to hear.
Huge.
So you like where you at right now?
Yes, I do.
I hope so.
Actually,
Paid to say that.
I hope
to
so.
say
Yeah.
no, I really do because I'm like what I said, I'm learning a lot. Like even with my corporate job now, it's my first ever job, like formal employment, and so I'm learning a lot. But also with working with Ed, like again, there's so much creative freedom there. So I'm really learning a lot about what I want as a creative and how I can kind of unlock that creativity in Ed with everything that's going on in his mind. Because again, he's a visionary. He loves to dream. So I love being able to also take that and see how we can make it come to life. So I love that. I love that we're doing that now.
Actually, these two are people that anchor me a lot. Cause no, yeah, okay, don't let it get to. No, because
Love you.
so Athaiah, and I hope it's okay I say this, Athaiah and he's shared a lot of like, cause he's doing a business venture of his own, and seeing him start from where he's at, and not just like the challenges, but the mindset of, okay, this is how, like, because it's great to have dreams, but then take the macro and go straight to the micro, and the first step is, where do you get your supplies from? Like, all of those things you
First step is
cannot,
always
yeah, you
hard.
always have to think of these small things. So hearing about his venture helps me also think of, like, oh man, I'm gonna have to think of, when I do this project, where are they gonna park? Like, where are they gonna
That's
do
true,
this?
that's true.
So that's why I always listen to his ventures, and I'm like, okay, I have to think about how this is actually gonna work.
Yeah.
So that's why I mean by these two anchoring me, because it's like, even though Athaiah is not directly involved in what we're doing, he's a person in my life. So
Right.
definitely there's something that, when I bring up ideas, I trust the two of them, and I trust Athaiah as well to be like, all right, we'll think about how this is gonna make them feel, or how this is actually gonna pan out. Money wise, I always know I can I can throw out and be like, how much do you think? And he'll give me an idea. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe it's
Yeah,
not.
that's true.
That's true.
That's
And you
valid.
need people. Like, I think
Yeah.
whether you're a young entrepreneur, businessman, woman, whatever, or you're just a dreamer, you need people who need to have the license and authority. I often say this to Fiona, especially. I said, you're the one person, or one of the one few people in my life, who can never, under any circumstance, tell me what I want to hear. You have to tell me, you're here in this position
Very good.
because I trust your thoughts. So if you tell me what I want to think, I will trust you, and we will both fall off a cliff.
Fiona is your conscience.
I got maybe not, not fully conscious, but just someone that I think, two people that have my back. And so yeah, that's important. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, which leads me to the question about Athaiah. Like, what are your plans after graduation? It's pretty like exciting for you, the
Yes,
Yeah.
graduating, and then so we'd love to hear your plans after graduation, because Edward mentioned that you have like a new business venture.
Yes, yes.
So yeah.
So, I mean, I look at it in a place where I'm 20, I'm still in college, and I know there are a lot of people who sometimes they don't like the idea of starting a business while in college, because a lot of times people say, hey, like, college, you know, it's the best years of your life. After college, you're going to be working for the rest of your life. And I always look at that and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's great, but once you've got a passion for it,
Yeah.
it's like,
It's
oh,
good.
like, you want to start already, you know. And I obviously, I've been talking about it, but I love cars. I love just the idea of playing with cars, with messing around with them, doing stuff. And I've looked at kind of what situation is. So just last year, I kind of started a small buy and sell, just getting used to the fact of how does cars get sold here, how do they buy, and through that, I realized there's a lot of people doing it, and like Ed said at the start, like, you really want to find something where people aren't doing, where you can really penetrate the market and kind of do something there, make something new. And with that, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's great, but there's no like innovation in it. So I was trying to just think about it, figuring out maybe what can I do that can help. And I got into a passion of detailing cars, and I just like, it was kind of random, but I got into this like, okay, like, I love cleaning cars. I love, you know, learning about how they do it. And for someone outside the car industry, you'll be like, how do you start a business of washing cars? Like, come on, like, that's anyone can do that. But then once you start getting into it, you realize like it's actually it's a great industry in terms of understanding what you can do with a car, how you can detail it, how can you do stuff. So I've been thinking about it and looking at ways where I can actually start something. And I realized like, hey, there's actually quite a big and great market for a detailing like kind of a mobile detailing business where
That's cool.
yeah, where it's kind of like a home service thing.
No one take that idea.
Oh.
Yes.
No one
Don't
take that
take it
idea.
down.
Take it.
That's
Let me
his
first
idea.
start because there's not many of you guys in
Let
Manila.
him fail first.
You'll do well.
So it's a cool idea, and I mean, obviously it hasn't been launched yet. I'm still in the midst of figuring it out, how it's gonna look like, what it's gonna be.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So again, like I'm not saying it's gonna be insanely successful or anything. It's just like what I'm looking at it in terms of the market, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. That's where I'm at right now. Like it's an idea that we're trying to make it into reality, but not yet there. So it's been pretty cool, and you know, with college is great. Like I get to be part of that, but I also love business and I
But
love
how do you
starting
manage
things.
your time like a student and then having this like new venture? It takes a lot of
It
time,
does.
right?
It does. So a lot of, I mean, even them, they always make fun of me saying that I doesn't seem like I go to college because I don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's really just planning out your week and deciding how much energy you spend on one thing. So for me, as much as I've got college and I'm there, I don't spend 100% of my energy on college. And being realistic, you know, because if I spend 100% of college, I have nothing. I don't have space for anything else. So with college, it's really like I prioritize that start of the week, trying to get things done within 2 or 3 days, and then leave the rest of the week to what I'm working on the side. So it's definitely a stretch. Like some people might say, hey, like, do you get rest from any of that? But you really don't, you know, because it's busy. Like my weekends are full. We've got ministry on the weekends, and then college on during the weekdays, evenings. I'm working on something else, so it gets a bit chaotic. But I would say if you've got a passion for it and you enjoy, you always find time for it. Yeah.
I want to jump into the trend about the question diploma or Diskarte.
Oh
I don't know if
yes.
you guys see this, no?
I have an answer for you already.
Yeah. Sige, let's hear your answer, no, each one of you.
Well,
Pero let's start with
okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
Well, based on what I just shared, I'm not a like. I wouldn't say getting a diploma, which is like a certificate, right? Graduation. I wouldn't say that's like the biggest thing in the world. So there are two ends of the spectrum. The way I see it is, you can be very creative, innovative, smart in terms of what business is while in college, and have a passion, have a dream for something, and say, okay, I don't really need a diploma to fulfill these dreams. But then there's also another side of the spectrum where you're coming from places that maybe your parents, your generation hasn't had that opportunity, and you want to be like, okay, I wanna fulfill this to change maybe my family lineage or change my generation so that I can now get opportunities to maybe come out of this situation that I'm living in. So I think there's two ends of the spectrum, but I would say in kind of what my understanding with the whole business world is, your graduation certificate is great for your first job, and then once you get your first job, I know a lot of people, business owners, who say they don't even look at it after their first
Doesn't
job.
matter.
It doesn't matter. So it's two ends of the spectrum. So like I would say if you really got a vision, you've got dreams, you have the capability to fulfill those, I would say yeah, like it's possible. I mean, I'm sure they'll share their stories, but they don't have diplomas, and you know they're doing great.
You ruined my
in the world.
You ruined my
You
point.
spoiled it.
Spoiled
Sorry.
my huge thing.
But and then you got the other side where you know people, and in the Philippines, I guess poverty is a big thing here. Majority of the population lives in that, and I would say they're getting a diploma is gonna open a lot of doors for those people, and it's gonna give them opportunities to reach new levels that maybe their parents have never gotten. So yeah, it's kind of like there's two spectrum of it, but I would say it's not the end of the world if you don't
So
get
you're
in a
Diskarte.
diploma.
You're more of Diskarte.
Yeah, I would say more on my yeah.
But he's about to finish, so
Yeah.
it's like you can have
Yeah,
the best
so
of both
I'm almost
worlds.
done. So like,
Yeah.
obviously, hopefully once I get my certificate, I can have some kind of reliability or whatever in sharing that. But yeah, like it's kind of in the middle. You know, it really depends on where you are, what you're doing, and what your situation is in. That kind of fulfills your future.
Okay.
Me, I never finished high school. So
Not even college, high school.
I didn't even finish high school. So at 16, and this was never the plan. So some people, it's not the plan. My plan was fully to go finish high school, go to a college. My sister did what my plan was. So my sister studied chemistry in one of the top universities in the UK, did very well for herself. Then she realized, Laura, I hope it's okay I say this, she didn't really love it. And now she's working for climate companies, so like software developing companies, to do with climate change and tracking a carbon footprint and so on and so forth. And she loves that. That's her passion. And I think she didn't even realize that until after she finished college. So I will never be one to advocate, don't go to college, you'll figure it out, because we do have to fully consider that maybe college is the place for you realize what you do and do not like. So don't count it out. But for me, that was never my track. I entered a reality show that I didn't plan to be with. The only reason, a lot of these artists have these great stories like, ay, simula nung bata ho, yun ang pangarap ko, kumanta sa entablado. No, for me, I never wanted to sing, dance, act, be in front of people. I'm a very introverted person. I like people watching. I like observing things. I like storytelling from afar. I like if there's a battle, I'm the guy watching and detailing what's going on. Like, that's what I like to do. So it was never my plan. I only auditioned for this show because I was insecure. My sister was doing great in school, and I was the next year I was supposed to start applying for schools. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I said, if I do this show and I get in, it's a cool thing I can put on my CV for university. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I did it. I got in and everything went well. And I tried to finish my high school, but with the schedule of the industry, it didn't work. So I stand before you guys now, someone who's dreaming a lot about a bunch of projects that I want to do. But if the only thing that would have told me that I'm qualified as a high school and college diploma, then I'm sorry, I have no reason to be here. Like, but the thing is, I am here, and I am working on building a business and my own personal brand. Technically, I am a business. That sounds weird. That sounds weird as an artist, as a personality, but I am a business in myself. I am the product. I am the manager. I am the property and product manager. I am everything. And so that's why it's kind of strange. But if you think about it, yes, I am a business. So I'm never going to be one to say don't go to college. But I'm saying if you are in a circumstance where you never got to, that does not disqualify you. Especially in this day and age, you have all the tools you need. I would even say there are some people I know who never went to college or never got to go to college, and they're way more hungry, they're way more advanced mag-isip. They're way more creative, and sometimes creativity means getting out of the box of how it's supposed to be, and going into the impossible and being like, they say lazy people are the most creative, because like you don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
So figure out how not to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying be lazy as well, but you guys get my point. Yeah. No, I've been that before, so I can't do that too much. But I think yeah, that's my point. I'm here not because I deserve to be, but I feel placed. So I am where I am by grace. So yeah.
Great.
Feo.
I agree with everything they've been saying, but I think one thought that I had while they were talking was that when you're in high school, you get very influenced heavily with what's around you. So at least for me, when I was in high school and in college, I was surrounded with a lot of students who were so worried and anxious about their future. And I think that causes some students or a lot of students to feel really boxed, that they think that, oh, because other people are doing this is the only way to do it, or this is the only way to. Because that's what I felt. I think that time, I felt like everyone was like, okay, only go here, only study medicine, only study business, only do this. It's like there's only really one. Like it's like I realized there's only really one way to go about your career, your future, and then when I started to work. I think everything changed for me in a sense of perspective also of, it's not only just supposed to go this way. There's a lot of options and opportunities out there. And I think that's really the blessing that I got with really being able to work at a job and now working with Ed, is I realize there's a lot of opportunities, and it's difficult when you're stuck in one perspective of like, this is the only way to go, or this is the only way your future can go.
I think that's a killer of creativity too. Once you think there's only one way to do it.
Yeah.
Now that you have taken the what you call red pill, the red pill of experiencing the real life work outside. I guess the question is: there any regret of like
My
not
gosh.
finishing college or high school, or generally, you just accept
It is what it is.
it is what it is.
I think regrets pretty heavy.
It's a heavy word.
I think
yeah.
if you live with regretting something for too much, it will discourage you, I guess, from thinking that you can't move forward anymore, or like your life became worse because this didn't happen or this happened. I think that either way, college or no college, I think that wherever you are in life, you're graced for that, and
Yeah, that's
very
you're
good.
graced for that, and you're gonna be able to move forward from it.
Very
So your past doesn't have a say about what your future will look like.
Absolutely.
You talk about anxieties earlier. No? You guys, do you have any worry or anxiety when it comes to trying to reach your goals or dreams?
I mean, I think goals, dreams, whether you're sitting down alone and not doing anything with your life, or you're working 30 hours a day, then you're going to have those battles. And if your anxieties are not goal or work based, they're going to be family based or friends based or relationship. There will be something. There will be anxiety. There will be. So I think anyone who comes on sits with a mic in their hand and says, I'm not anxious. Okay, teach us to be like you.
Yep.
But it's I think it's like all of us, like we've talked about it. We all go to the same church, and church is a vehicle to encounter something bigger. Someone bigger who we all know, and so that's where we go to encounter it, and that's what's I can't tell you. They know my whole story. I don't want to, we can go about it maybe another time, but I would have quit my job at the peak of my career. I was 2 weeks away from quitting my job at the peak of my career, and if I hadn't met God in that moment. So I think that's the way, and I think I'm pretty confident that's the way. Like in terms of all of our answers, we'll go to the same answer, the same core foundation of belief. That's how we deal with our anxiety. God says, "Be anxious for nothing." So that's our core piece. But do we counter it? Do we fight it? Heck yeah. Or like, especially when you're pioneering something or dreaming about something, doing something that never ever done. My palms are getting sweaty already. You can see me.
Even right now.
Like I can feel it, but there's an excitement. There's almost like, and I'm cautious with saying this. It's one of our values, like in terms of the core values, like we want to be countercultural, but not like gentle, but like. Oh, sorry, I mean gentle, but not like rebellious.
Yeah.
But there's almost like a let's go, like no one's ever done this before. Like rah 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 type of stuff. But then again, you have to like maintain composure because it's real life. So sorry.
Any thoughts, guys?
I think to add on, I think sometimes you gotta ask yourself what makes you uncomfortable. If you're comfortable and you're doing things, or you're starting, let's say, a business, or kind of going down this path, if you're comfortable, are you really gonna be able to reach those dreams that you want?
True.
Because if you're comfortable, you're not gonna be willing to take risks. You're not gonna be willing to do things that maybe people have done. But if you're uncomfortable, there's obviously a weight that you're holding.
Yeah.
There's the risk that you're taking. There's gonna be thoughts, lies that are gonna hit you, trying to say, "Oh, you're gonna fail." Like your friends might say stuff against you. So it's being uncomfortable, but having a kind of a strong foundation to know that, okay, yeah, I can do this, but it's gonna require, it's gonna stretch me. It's gonna cause me to do it's gonna financial risk, like all these risks. But I would say it's okay to be uncomfortable in certain situations.
You should be. You should be.
Yeah, you should be.
But if you're not uncomfortable, not really doing anything.
That's when you know that you
I'm
have
scared
to do
now.
something.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. I'm just curious about your thoughts sa Gen Z in the workplace. Like there are a lot of comments going on. The Gen Zs are like this. So Can you?
I just
enlighten us?
want to clarify. I forgot. What age is Gen Z again?
I don't know. I have to Google it.
I'll look it up now.
They're like
Because
the
we do live with Gen Z
Yeah.
people, but
Year 2000s.
About-
isn't that like 13 to 24?
yeah.
Gen
think so.
Z.
Because I'm seeing memes in in TikTok that
Yeah.
Gen Zs are like comparing how Gen Zs
Ah,
and millennials.
1997 to 2012. So anyone
Oh,
from
wow.
11 to
Wow.
26. Apparently, this is what I'm reading. This is as per Google. Don't take my word for it.
So we're
Wait, so your question was how is Gen Z in the
Yeah, in
workplace?
the workplace. Like, we're curious kasi ako, I've been
During
working
the
with...
term
yeah.
is like entitled. You guys.
So that's the
wrong-
misconception.
Yeah, misconception.
Misconception.
Yeah. So how do you please enlighten us dun sa mga mindset nyo when it comes to like work? Yeah.
Go.
I mean, for me, because I'm the youngest person in my workplace, so sometimes my day-to-day life just looks like them asking me if I know this certain thing from back then. Like it's so funny actually, but
It's a Rubik's cube.
yeah, what's a VHS? Like I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, they're great. No, my workmates are great, but I think there are a lot of misconceptions, and I've been seeing that around also about younger people, Gen Z people in the workplace saying they're entitled, they're this. I think just like any generation, you can't generalize everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe there's some that more than others, but you really can't generalize everyone. And I think for me, there's definitely there might be people who in the workplace they think that they're better or whatever, but
Yeah.
I realized that it's just, I think, because of also, let me know what you guys think, but also
Yeah.
with the resources that are out there now, like social media is so powerful. So I
Extremely.
think that really affected heavily our generation, and because of social media and because of everything new happening, I think that impacts a lot of workplaces now. That sorry, not most, but some Gen Z people or some younger people would come in there thinking that they know everything because they have access to everything. So I think sometimes that comes from that. But yeah, at least for me, because I'm the only Gen Z person there, I would actually classify myself a bit different from other Gen Z
So you
people.
notice the difference? How they work, how like millennials or baby boomers work compared to Gen Zs?
Yeah, there's a major difference, especially in technology, and not just technology, but mindsets as well, with what they were used to,
Traditional?
like traditional
Yeah.
working places. But I mean, at least for me, I'm grateful because the company that I work for, they're very open. I mean, they hired me, so they're very open about new things coming in, which I think is important for any business, any organization.
Need the new things.
It's important
Fresh.
for you to be used to change. He was just saying earlier on the way here, he likes change. And I think that's super important for every company. And yeah.
I agree. And there's gonna be what's the next generation after Gen Z? I don't even know. But whatever that,
Alpha?
when we're a little older, and then we're gonna be noticing a generation that's different to us. It's gonna be so easy to comment. But the thing is, millennials were the succeeding generation of a previous generation, and probably talked about that generation as different too. So I think whenever we're not willing to accept anything new, like I'm realizing now, so in my workspace, I'm 23. I'm about to be 24 this year, but I'm old to some of them because a lot of them are starting out and they're 14 years old, 13 years old. I know someone who was the breadwinner for a family starting age 6, which is crazy.
What age did you
Whoa.
start?
I started at the age of 16.
16.
So I'm 8 years down the line almost. In August, I'll be 8 years in show business. And to some of them, I'm Kuya Edward. So the thing is, and
That's funny to hear. No?
it is. But the thing is, in the environment, I'm technically a veteran, which is weird to think. And so if you think about it again, show business is a little bit of a different thing. But going back to the question, it's like as long as like they're talking the way that the words that they use, even some of the younger generations, like I don't even know what that means. I'm referencing shows and they don't know what shows I'm talking about anymore. And so my whole point in all of this is like if I'm not willing to learn from them, speak their language, there's gonna be a gap between my generation and theirs, and therefore we're not going to be connected, and therefore I can't learn from them and I can't teach them. What authority do I have to
Very
speak
good.
into them as well? But to answer your question, I think Gen Z is the generation that sees everything, hears everything, and so if you talk about something that you don't preach, you preach something that you don't really live, they know and they won't respect you. So if I tell
Right.
people, yeah, steward your finances, am I stewarding my finances? They can smell it.
Yeah.
Like kids see, like I'm not even talking about like Gen Z, like young teenagers, especially nowadays. You know, I think there's some crazy statistic where within the first 2 seconds of seeing a post on social media, they can tell if it's an ad or not, and they'll swipe
Yeah,
away.
Yes. Very.
So knowing that, if you're being fake towards a teenager, oh, they can smell you. If there's a teacher you're trying to like and you don't really care, oh, they can smell it. So now, that's why authenticity. I'm a geek, so like there's another video I watched about again videos. I don't know if this is fully true, but some guy doing an analysis on dating apps. In this generation now, the thing that will get a second date from someone is, can I be authentic and real with you? Well, before it's, are you pretty enough or handsome enough to get a second
Yeah.
date with me? So now it's people really, really like crave authenticity. And in this world of social media, it's almost like, where can I get organic realness?
Yeah. Good.
So I think that's why, for better or for worse, Gen Z will walk into a workspace and be like, di ka naman nagpapakatotoo eh. Why? I'm just gonna be myself. Bahala ka. Like, so that's where a little bit of, we have to have respect. I'm not saying this generation's perfect, because we're not. But it's now really like, instead of hiding your cards, show us your cards and we'll play the game. Parang ganun, yeah.
Good.
All right. Anything else you'd like to ask them?
Yeah, another question, because we still have 15 minutes.
Okay, great.
Great.
Hit us.
So siguro bulk of your time in a day, or a large percentage of your time in a day, ano yung nasa isip ko all the time? Probably 60 to 80% of your mindset on your day to day. What is it? If you want to pick your brains.
Just check my screen time. See
let's check.
how much I'm on the phone.
Screen time
Yeah,
check.
Because if I'm on my phone, I'm probably not thinking of anything great.
I think it's tough because, again, back to this generation, this whole technology era we're in it's something we really haven't experienced before. So you see a lot of people in this generation spending a lot of times on their phone. And personally, for me, I've deleted TikTok.
Same.
So I'm
It's terrible.
completely off TikTok. And
TikTok
the reason why.
I was thinking about that just last night.
Yeah.
To
Delete it.
my TikTok.
Because the reason
So
why
hard.
is I looked at my screen time and I would spend 4 hours a day just on TikTok. And I was like, what am I doing with my life right now? So I made the decision last year, just deleted it completely. And now obviously
Great
you've
idea.
got alternatives. You've got Instagram Reels, you've got YouTube,
YouTube Shorts,
Shorts,
yeah.
you've got Facebook Reels. Like, if you really want to use your time wisely, you need to delete everything.
Yeah.
But it's tough. Like, you need Instagram, you need Facebook for if you're trying to
Some
do
people,
stuff.
that's their job.
Yeah, exactly. It's their job, so they need to be on that.
Like us.
So like for me, it's really the way I kind of process things is it's very I like to write it down or I like to look at it visually. So let's say I'm thinking about ideas for a business or thinking of what I want to do. I don't just think about it. I look at like ideas. I'll search up stuff. I'll be like, okay, like this is cool, and then I kind of pick and choose, and then I combine it and I create something that maybe I would like. So it's kind of like a mix and match where it's not just like a carbon copy of what someone else is doing, but it's yeah, and it's like it's looking at weaknesses of other people's ideas or thoughts and then making it stronger so that you can be able to create something greater. And I mean, I would say it varies with what people think about during the day, because if social media is controlling you, then all you're going to be thinking about is social media. And I
Yeah.
know that is a major struggle with this generation. Like I've talked to young people, high schoolers, and the time they get back at home is just on their phones for the whole evening and the whole night. And they just don't do anything. They're on their phone, have dinner, go back to their room, on their phone again. So it's really
We can
Sounds
relate.
familiar.
We can relate.
so it's really like once you get the kind of the revelation that like social media can control you so much, and you realize like, man, this is taking so much of my time, you really won't understand the full scope of what social media can do to you.
I want to ask a social media manager. No, genuinely. How do you? I just want to throw the question out. How do you, in a workspace where social media, you're supposed to analyze it, make it work for you, like anything, like money, you make it work for you. How do you not let it consume you? So that's what I ask.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of planning and a lot of self-control. I mean, in a sense where, like, for me, if I'm on social media for leisure, like, it's like if I'm gonna go on social media for work, I need to actually set a time for it. Like, that's my practical step.
Nice.
Where, like, because if I just, okay, I'll go on IG, but it's easy to make an excuse that, like, yeah, I'm analyzing something, when really then you end up, like, just watching mindlessly. So I think for me, practically, is setting a separate time for that, setting a separate time for work, where you're only gonna be there for research. But I think even with even the question of, like, what's in our brains all the time, I think I think it's very important to be present day to day.
Yeah.
Because if you're so ahead with the I forgot, my dad always says, like, don't think about the future.
Yeah.
Like, that's his, like, constant line every single time I'm with him and we're together as a family. Because it's true, like, the more that's what's consuming your mind the most, you miss out on your day.
Yeah.
Miss out on what could have happened on your day.
If you think about what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm trying to remember the question now. What
What do
consumes
you
you?
think about everything?
I think a lot of times, like, and this is maybe something underrated, and people can say you can dream too much, but I think I spend a lot of time dreaming. What does that mean? I don't literally just sit at a wall and be like, oh, that'll be cool. No, but you can take any idea and, like, run with it. So I think a huge thing I personally do a lot is that I ask why, I ask what, I ask why not, or a lot of things. Like, and the thing is, I need someone to help me note it down. So that's why I have a GC with Fiona. I literally, like, hey, why don't we do this? And then we have to explore. Okay, why can't you do that? What's it gonna need financially? All of this stuff. And so and then part of it is like, okay, this can come together for that, and then you can start growing that. And I think sometimes people can get, what is the saying that's so common in the Philippines? Libre naman mangarap, diba?
Right.
That's what you hear from so many people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, libre, but time is money as well. So, like, do something about it. Don't just dream for the sake of dreaming. But I spend a lot of time dreaming because it's like a lot of the things that get shut down by people, like those ideas that are like, imposible yan, wag yan. It's like, why not? Like, do it. Like, I like breaking the normal. It sounds so, like,
Right.
it sounds so Gen Z, to be honest. It sounds so, like,
It's very Gen Z.
well, we're gonna be different.
We're gonna.
And then you get humbled by the world, and then you lose all your ability to dream. I never want to be that. Like, I think Steve Jobs said the most powerful person in the world is a storyteller. Look what Apple did. They're not even. Sometimes the products aren't as good as others, but they sell the story way better than. Sorry, cut.
Follow-up question. Siguro before we end this, kasi, talking about dreams and whatnot, kasi as you know, failure is inevitable.
Yeah.
What's your take about failure and how
Ooh.
you prepare yourself sa failure?
Can I go first?
Yeah. Go.
Fail forward. That's something
Interesting.
we say. We've heard this a lot.
Yeah.
All of us in the team, we've messed up so many times. But some great people in our lives have spoken into us and say, hey, fail forward. If you fail, make sure you fall forward. So when you get up, you're at least one step forward. So I think fail forward also means fail gracefully. Like, all right, you messed up, cool. You fell forward. Now, at least, some people think when you fail, it's like back to square one. Technically, so say you start a business, you do well, you fail. people are like, oh, start again. Technically, if you think about it, your failure is step 2. When you get back up, it's step 3. And then you look back. So
Very
don't
good.
think about it like you're resetting. That's already a step. Your failure is a step. So I think failing forward is like, as when you make a mistake, just make sure it's forward in a way you're progressing, moving
Yeah,
forward.
very
So
good.
yeah.
And I think like my opinion is I don't think you can start something and say you won't fail. I think
Yeah.
there's always gonna be failure, and I think failure is great in situations because without failure there's no risk that you're gonna take, you know. And if you think you're going into this and there's no way you're gonna fail, you're never gonna be able to take those risks and learn from whatever you're doing. And
True.
a lot of times, I guess failure is always looked down upon, and people say like, yeah, if you fail, you know, you are a failure, you know. And I say that you hear a lot of entrepreneurs, people who've started amazing businesses, and always every time I've listened to them, their advice is it's okay to fail. You know, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not do this the right way because that's how you learn from it, and that's how, like Edward said, that's your step 2. Your step 3 is now what are you gonna do based on this failure. You know, it's not going back to square one, restarting your whole life. It's now, okay, I failed, it didn't work out. What can we do now to make it work out? What can we do now to take that forward step based on your failure? And I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I think failure is
100%.
completely okay. Yeah.
Fiona?
This is so easy to talk about, but it's
It's
hard
tough.
to do when
Yeah, I don't want to
I-
fail.
I-
No one likes
I hate failure.
no one likes it. It's actually really hard when
Yeah.
you're in a state of failure. But even with what you said, it's so easy to identify yourself with your failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
True.
easy to say I'm a failure more than I failed. And I think that's something that even I really had to learn is when I fail, it's not because I'm a bad person or I didn't or I'm incapable or I'm disqualified. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to mistakes is to never identify yourself with it.
Yes. True.
Because it's actually gonna be a big part of like if you I think it's easy also to really capture people when they think or when you present yourself as someone who doesn't make mistakes and who doesn't fail.
It's attractive.
Is
Eh?
there such a thing? A
Yeah,
person?
no.
Yeah. And I think that's really even our heart with what we're trying to do is authenticity.
Yes.
That it's okay to fail. So I think it's gonna be really hypocritical of us to
Yeah.
do something like that and not embrace failure.
Yeah.
Right?
My I don't act anymore personally.
Mm.
Surprised. Some people they're like have done it in 3 years, but no. But my acting coach said before, never trust a perfect person, because when they're perfect and they're like, oh, I had someone. I'll not name this person because I love her much.
Mhm.
Someone introduce someone else to me.
Mhm.
She's telling them, oh, this guy's great, does this, loves doing this, all these different talents and skills, studying this, has this much money, and I'm like, cool. Tell me why he's not a good person, and I will trust him.
Yeah.
But you're not telling me any reason why, and therefore, like, I don't care if it's showbiz or not. I'm looking straight at the camera. I don't know which camera to look at.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's
They'll
showbiz or
edit it,
not.
they'll edit it, don't worry.
If you're like, if you have a, tell me why they're not a great person, and then I'll realize they're human.
Right.
So if they're too perfect, it smells off.
But also I think that's why because actually last night we were talking about judgment and bitterness.
Oh,
And I think
I
that
got hit hard.
I think that's why a lot of people are afraid to fail is because of judgment.
Yeah.
Right.
Very
And
true.
I think that that's something that we all as humans we all have to do better in. But I think that's the thing that I think people also have to realize is to never look at someone thinking that they're they'll never make a mistake, especially in his industry, like in showbiz.
Yeah.
It's so easy to think those people are perfect and they don't have a life. They don't have a life full of mistakes.
Yep.
So-
Very good.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
who are we to judge, to be honest?
Okay, let's wrap it up. So thank you guys for being here.
Of course.
This has been like a very great.
Thank you for having us.
episode. Yeah,
Awesome.
we learned a lot from you.
Yep.
So thank you so much for sharing your stories. And
Yeah. we always fight about closing remarks. Because we don't have
So
any
it's hard to
script.
close.
As a former co-host, can you wrap it up for us?
Wow. So much pressure. What question to ask?
No,
How do you wrap it up?
Wrap
Say
it
bye
up.
and subscribe, whatever. Just do it for us.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Peace.
Peace and
Thank
love.
you guys.
Thank you so much.